My guest today is Stacey Nye. Stacey was a high achiever with everything going for her until a life event changed it all. She didn't know who she was anymore. That is, until a friend bought her a session with the creator and founder of an ancient technique that changed her life in one session. Stacey, I'm leaving it there because I kind of
Cry every
want
time I hear that.
to.
I'm like, oh my gosh, like it's true. Everything you just said was true. Yeah, like my background, very born into high achieving family, and then kept it going. My career was with the Olympic Games in the operations division of, just figuring things out, getting things done. That it was amazing. I loved every minute of it, and really was just on a fabulous track of life. Great guy, great life, great money, everything was pretty easy most of my life in that way. Like I feel like my strong values, good people, good leadership, good mentors, all of those kinds of things was always around me. I didn't know anything else. And then this particular night, when I was 33, my husband and I went through crazy, one crazy night that changed our lives, and we both came out of it very, very differently, scarred very differently. I remembered everything. He remembered nothing. So it was a lot easier for him to kind of just get on with it.
Was it a
But
car
it
accident, Stacey? Sorry to interrupt.
no, it was an assault.
Oh,
Well, actually,
right.
there was a car accident. That's what started it, and then the other person got out of the car and then physically
Oh,
assaulted
right.
my husband with
Okay.
a knife. Yeah, like it was
Oh
fast,
my
and it was
God.
fast and furious, and it was over very quickly.
Wow.
Now he did survive, like, but it was very scary for quite a while. And in that particular moment, the about 4 seconds before that all happened, I literally had a pregnancy test in my hand, and we were pregnant, and I never got to tell him. Like I got to tell him inside the trauma of all of it, which actually saved his life. The
Mm.
information that we were going to be parents actually kind of like snapped him out, and he didn't pass out or die. It was kind of like all in. It was all very, very fast. But that night changed my life forever, and it's kind of, in retrospect, it was the night that hell came screaming into my life. I didn't know anything about hell. I didn't know anything about terror or fear or anxiety. I didn't know any of that stuff. And I know that I had to go through all of that so that I could find the fixed code. I could find, like, I could meet with Daniel, which again was a very spiritual experience, meeting Daniel, and then having the work done. But I was silent for years. Not Nobody knew what I had gone through, or what now, unfortunately, my ex-husband and I went through. We both stayed very quiet. We didn't go to therapy. We didn't even know kind of it existed to do that stuff. I didn't. I don't drink alcohol. Haven't in like 35 years, so that wasn't a crutch. I don't take medication, so that wasn't something I was even thinking of either. So I really white knuckled it the whole time, um, and just thought, just don't talk about it. Kind of like as an athlete, like you just move yourself through this, like just do it, like suck it up and do it, cupcake. Like that was kind of my mantra. And then this particular day when I met Daniel, I was 45 days into separation now. Like we were now ending our marriage, and this was years later, 7 years later, 6 years later, and I'm now like not able to like hold my weepy. I'm now weeping like a lot. I couldn't hold it in anymore. The cracks were showing. I was on the outside. So when I met Daniel, as you said in the intro, it changed my life, because when he did this work with me, um, the first thing he did with me was the feeling sad, and I was really sad. And when he did this incredible work with me, which again, I know this is going to sound crazy, but it takes about 5 minutes. It feels like a guided meditation. It's very beautiful. It's a beautiful experience. And it's like that every single time. Um, I couldn't feel sad anymore. I could see the sad. I could see why I had been sad, but I couldn't connect with it. Like the charge between me and sad was gone, and I couldn't believe it. It was extraordinary. And because I had spent a very large portion of my life in excellence, I knew what it looked like, sounded like, felt like. I knew the frequency of excellence because I had lived in it. I worked for it. I served Olympians and their families, which is of excellence. And this was it. But this was in the quantum area. This was in like the space you can't touch. This was like, it was exquisite. That's how I explain it. It was just an exquisite experience of just pure excellence. And when I opened my eyes, I'm not a very big swearer, and my son always like he jokes with me. He's like, "Mom, don't, like, you're such a bad swearer. Like, just don't. Like, you don't even know how to do it right." I'm like, okay. So even if I'm trying to be cool or whatever it is, like I bomb at swearing. So, but in this particular moment, I was swearing like I'd been born at a truck stop. I was like, bah, 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 bah. I'm like, what have you done? Like, how did this work? This is the, I just went off and on. Like, what did you do? Like, what just happened? And he's like, oh my gosh, like, did I just break you? Like, are you okay? I'm like, oh my gosh, this is incredible. And I just said, I'm gonna figure out me. This is me shooting my mouth off. And then I made a promise, and so it's like I stuck to it. I kept my promise. 15 years ago, 16 years ago now, I said to Daniel, I didn't even know his name, and I said, I'm going to figure out what you just did, and I'm going to teach the world how to do this.
Oh
And he was
my
like,
God.
oh, I don't know about that. And I'm like, yeah, you don't know me. Hi, I'm Stacy. Do you have a business partner? No? Oh, good. Hi, I'm your new business partner. And I just went for it. And again, like I had my own gymnastics club at the time, like, 7 days a week, 14-hour days of now like a 6-year old, 5-year old on my own. Like I had a lot on my plate. And here I am promising the world that I'm going to figure out what he did and I'm going to teach the world how to do this. And I did it. And we've been business partners from that moment on and best friends and the whole thing. But he did. He. I said to him, the deal is you have to be able to like. I need this. You need to prove to me that this technique works. Like I'm not going to back, something that only works for me. Like that's not going to work. So I said to him, you got to spend some time with me. You got to like keep doing this with me because there's a bunch of stuff here. Like I got baggage. Like I want this stuff going. So he was like, okay. And I said, and I'm going to put you in front of every single person I know because they love me and they're going to tell me the truth. And I did for years. I put him in front of everybody I knew. I put him in front of my little black book. If your listeners that you're my age, if you know what like the Rolodex is and a little black book, right? I put him in front of everybody I knew, and again, they all loved me, so they were not going to let me go into a venture that was no, Stacey, this is like wacky, like no, don't do this, like, and every single one of them was like, whoa, you got to get this in front of athletes, you got to get this in front of business people, you got to get this in front of moms, and I'm like, oh no, So in time, um, I was obviously fully backed. I mean, and it was working with me, and my life was changing so drastically. And my husband was having the work, my son was getting the work done. Like this, we were all on board. Like this was my sister who was living in Australia was calling me for sessions. So at this point, I said to Daniel, if you can teach me how to do this, because I know nothing about this industry, like like I'm a sports girl, like I live in a totally other world. But if you can teach me how to do this, then anybody can learn how to do this. Like I am your lowest bar here. And he taught me, and I said to a girlfriend, I actually did it with my mother-in-law the first time ever, and I thought I was going to get struck by lightning, and oh my gosh, I don't have permission to do this, and this isn't mine, and like I kind of went into a meltdown a little bit of, ah. And it was on Christmas Day, and I called him and said, I am so sorry. I am like so sorry. He's like, why are you saying sorry? And I'm like, I just did the fix code, and I'm not even sure if we had a name for it then. Like we may not even have had a name for it yet. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. I feel like I'm gonna be struck down by lightning. I didn't ask permission. And he just started laughing at me. And I was like, why are you laughing at me? And he's like, did you really think you were never gonna do this? And I'm like, me? No, 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 no. And he's like, oh, Stacey, you're gonna be one of the best in the world at this. And I'm like, anyways, it was the launch of my career because I had told a couple of friends that I had done it with Grandma Di and how I get angry with her on Christmas Day. She was really angry, and I'm like, to the bedroom, like back there. And I just did it with her. And she looked back at me, and she's my best friend ever. And she's like, holy crap. Like, what did you just do? I'm like, can you feel angry? And she's like, no. Like, first time in my life, I'm not pissed off. I'm like, wow. She's like, wow, wow. So it was like a really cool experience again. That was the first time I'd ever done it. And then I told a couple of girlfriends that what I had done, that I did this with Grandma Di, and they're like, "Oh, are you going to do this? Are you going to start doing it?" I'm like, I think so. Within a week, my calendar was full. I didn't know what I was doing, how I was going to manage this. Like, do I have client cards? How do I do this? Anyways, I had a private practice, thriving private practice for years. I absolutely love this technique and love doing all of that. So this comeback, like Stacy's comeback, was happening, and without any kind of plan. There was no plan outside of sharing this with the world. And then, well, one now who was one of my dearest friends of almost 10, 12 years now, I think. She was one of my clients, and who has many modalities. She's a brilliant practitioner, healer of many, many modalities. And she was curious about, this girl that everybody's talking about in this little town in Collingwood, Ontario, that's doing this thing. And so she came and she became one of my clients and absolutely loved this technique, and then said to me, "You got to teach me this." And I said, "Well, funny enough, Daniel's on his way here because we're working on some things. Would you like to meet him?" And she's like, yep. So I opened the door for him, and there he was. And she threw her arms around him and said, "Please teach me this. Please teach me this." And that was it. The next thing we knew, I put it out. I think I put a text out to people, and it was sold out. We said 25 slots. Never in our wildest dreams did we ever think we were going to get 5 people, let alone 25. It was sold out in about an afternoon. And Daniel and I just stood there and went, "I think it's happening. I think we're doing this." And that was it. We had a room full of 25 people, and in 2 days, in like a full on weekend, Friday night, Saturday, full Sunday, we taught the 10 modules, and by the end, everybody was doing it, and everybody was having fun, and there was 25 more people now in the world that knew how to do this, and that was the beginning, and that was in 2016, and we haven't stopped. There's now an online training, and this has been my comeback, but it's taken a long time,
Mm,
and it doesn't happen overnight. And if, I wish it did. I wish I could have just gone to bed one night and just woke up and it was all over. But I think at our age, there's so many bumps and bruises, and most of them have got absolutely nothing like the root causes are not what's happening now. It's that it feels like a tsunami when it happens now. Like we may have been angry when we were little, but it disappeared quicker. And then as we grew, we got more and more angry, or more and more hurt. Or that was a big one for me, was hurt. It was like having to kind of like keep coming up and out of a different version of hurt.
mm.
Whether that's let down or disappointed or abandoned, or like, all of those things are different, what we call codes. And the
I'm
way that
gonna,
Daniel,
sorry, I'm gonna interrupt because I want to ask some questions before we go. Right,
yeah,
and I want to kind of save I want to kind of keep some mystery. You've been
oh,
talking
okay,
about this amazing thing, but before, and I'd love, like, obviously we want to get into that, but I just wanted to ask you a few things, and there were quite a few, like that's your story so far in a nutshell,
yeah,
but right back at the beginning, like I think this is something that often happens to women in their midlife, and I've seen it happen to a few people around me in recent times. It happened to you a little bit early, but this complete,
yeah,
that out of the blue accident or illness
divorce,
or
yep,
loss, divorce,
yep, yep,
and all of a sudden you're like, who am I?
yeah,
But your story as it unfolded, you start to look back, and in hindsight, you go, oh my God, this was all
on purpose,
predetermined. And
absolutely, people for sure.
when you're not following your path, the
It,
universe gives you a big fat slap.
yep, totally, totally. And I was so off track because my purpose was this,
Mm. Can you talk a
right?
bit about purpose and how that's,
Oh, absolutely.
yeah.
And just as an incredible coincidence, last night I created a ignite your passion and purpose course about 4 years ago, and it's absolutely incredible. And I was just putting it together, and I'm just putting it together as a package for like $29 Canadian, which is like, or American, which is, not a lot. And
Peanuts.
it should be up online. It should be up online very, very like in the next 2 days. It'll be up and ready to go for people to do. It is such a big, fun, dynamic course, and it's me being like this. I'm all in. It's a really, anybody that's ever taken it is really, they love it. So that'll be available, and it asks these big questions. And this course, when I was teaching it and figuring out how to express it, because I don't really teach, I shouldn't say teach, I express what I'm going through in
Mm.
every question, and then I help everybody get to their answer. So it's the same question, and then it's like, what is yours? Like, how do you answer this? What is your purpose? What does that mean to you? Do you even need one? Like, in the sense of like, have I done it? Do I now get to enjoy my harvest, or am I still planting seeds? Where are you in the system? So you'll love it if that's where you are in your life of, igniting that passion and your purpose again. It's going to be, you'll really enjoy this little mini course.
Can
um
I ask you a bit more
I
about that? Sorry, I've
Yeah, yeah,
interrupted again. Sorry.
no, go ahead, I love it.
Um, just with purpose, I think that
Yeah,
often when we kind of come to that question, what's life all about? What's my purpose?
yeah,
We can see someone like you who has
yeah,
obviously got this massive mission, and you're putting a lot of energy and passion behind that mission, and it's kind of pulled you along. And we can get caught up in other people's purpose and what
yeah,
that means.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
our purpose it doesn't necessarily mean about making money, does it? Or
No,
it's
no.
it's
So
about
for me, and
being,
this is an important question, and I think each person has got a very, very different answer. So mine has always been, and this is just part of my personality. So you have to look at your personality. Are you a boss? I'm not a boss. I'm not bossy pants. There's nothing bossy pants about me. I am what we like in the disc. If anybody follows the disc personality quadrant, I'm an S, and then I've got some high I. So I can do outward people. I love all that, but then there's this reserved side of me that really just loves to support. What do you want to do? I can help. I can do anything. And because of my background with the Olympic Games, I literally have a Rubik's Cube mind because, again, my career was so easy for me. I just did it. And people ask me questions and I would solve very complex problems in like 5 words. My sister to this day is like, how do you do that? I'm like, I just look at all the content, look at it all, and tell you what's there in one sentence. And she's like, I know, that's crazy how you do that. So, so but like kind of knowing what your superpowers are. Are you a high nurturer? Are you high action? Are you high knowledge? Are you high what's the other one? Blueprint. Like, that's the bank system. If you are working and living in the wrong quadrants, which I have been, like, I may be sitting here today look like I've got it all together. Please know, like, this is still a journey. Like, I'm still sorting and untangling all of life's programming. A lot of them were awesome. A lot of them weren't. Like, I come from a world of no pain, no gain. Well, my body doesn't like that very much. In my 50s, like, at 56, I'm like, no pain, no gain. No, we're good. I don't need the gain. I don't want the pain. But okay, I come from that kind of programming. I'm a Nike commercial, truly a Nike commercial. Go, 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 all action. Now, what happened for me, and this I'm hoping can help many, many of your listeners, because we've talked now twice about how that night or that day, that moment, something
mm,
happens that changes your life, right? And you knew who you were before, or you had a good idea of it, or like life kind of worked. And then all of a sudden, life wasn't working. And this is what happened to me. And this is what I have been untangling, or what I call, I went inside out, and now I'm coming out of my inside out. So everything I've been doing in a way for the last 22, 3 years since that night, I got turned inside out or flipped upside down or whatever we want to say. I was living in my opposite quadrants. So I was living bossy because I'm now a mom, right? Like now I'm kind of going into like more of a bossy mode. I'm in high nurture. I'm having to do this blueprint stuff, which is plan, and knowledge. Like, I don't know how to take care of a baby. I don't know how to do all of this. Like, what is happening? I'm in my opposites because I'm all action. I make a plan while I'm in the air. Like, I jump off a cliff before I think because I'll figure it out. I can fly, right? Like, also, so my life for 22 years was I was living in my opposites, which is the toxic side. So when we're living in our opposites, we become toxic. We become not like us. And everything starts to feel wrong, weird, opposite. Nothing works. Everything's confusing. Can't make sense of anything. Okay? It's because we're living in our opposite quadrants. So as I started to like sort this out, it's like, wait a minute, I've been this high blueprint and nurture person, which is like, no thanks, no thanks. Like, I'm all action, man. Like, keep up or I'm leaving you behind. That was my attitude before. Like, I'm a solo person. I do things by myself because I move fast. Well, you can't do that with a child. And my child was very, very reserved. No parties, no friends, no gatherings, no coffee dates, no. Like, he literally said at 3, I don't like people. Like, I don't like them. I'm like, I know. So, right? So things in your life change you. And I adapt. I adapt to my surroundings. I'm very, very good at that. So I changed. My life, like, I had to, I I handled my life with different templates, and they
Mm.
didn't work for me, even though I didn't know I had done it.
The
So
past,
I'm now
which
in
ones weren't working for you? The new ones or the old ones? Or like a bit of
the
both?
old one. Like, so there's 3 parts. There's the one
Okay.
where I was like, life is good, all good. I'm all action. I move
Yeah.
all over the world. I go, go, go. I think on, I get in the car, then I think. It's like, okay, where am I going? Versus being in
Okay.
the house thinking, okay, make a plan and
Yeah.
then go, right?
Yeah.
So then the night of the accident.
Hmm.
Now I won't leave the house until I've got a
Ah,
plan. Everything is safe
yeah.
and I know what I'm doing and everybody is good. I can't leave the house unless everybody's good.
Mm.
Before I would be like, hey, to my husband, hey babe. Oh no, we were still fiancés, I think, back then. But I basically walked into the living room one day and went, so and we were living out on the West Coast, and I said, so I just took a job in Australia. I'm leaving in 2 weeks. You're welcome to come.
Oh
Okay?
my God.
Like, not nurture. Like, you're welcome to come. We can have a blast. Like, this is gonna be amazing. I'll be back in 2 years. Like, it's all good. Like, no blueprint, no nothing. Just like, let's go. I'm all action, and I figured all out in the air, I always land on my feet, always do, because I'm very smart when I'm up in the air, when I'm flying
Mm.
in action. I suck when I'm sitting at my kitchen table trying to make a plan because I won't move.
Mm.
Nothing ever is going to be totally solved. So, and I don't know what I'm doing. I have no information. All the information's out there. Well, I can't get the information because I'm sitting in everything's opposite. So what happened is I am now in this high anxiety, which if I was out there flying in action, there's no anxiety there. For me,
Mm.
that's total freedom. All I've wanted for 22 years was freedom, freedom, freedom. I just need to feel free. Okay. So I was living in my opposite. Now, if you are somebody that is blueprint, for example, and you're making, and you are either with a partner or you're in an environment that you don't have the time to sit and make a plan and you just have to stay in action, that's terrifying for you because you need a plan. Or like my son, he doesn't move. You literally cannot make this child move unless he's got all the knowledge. He will research it to death. And I'm like, who cares? We'll get in the car and GPS it. Let's go. And he's like, no, no. I need to know what time it's opened, what time it closes, how far it is, what the speed limit is. You know
It's
what I mean?
almost
And I'm
like
like, oh,
comfort zone, isn't it? I've been
it's your
observing
thrive
it
zone.
in yeah, your thrive zone, but it's also a comfort zone
Thrive zone.
because they
Yeah,
say that the
absolutely.
change and the growth happens in discomfort. And the discomfort that
Mm-hmm.
you experienced, it sounds like, was like having to stay put and
Oh my gosh, it
not
was torture.
just be taking action all the time, but like
Torture.
be on, yeah, that opposite side. And but
Yes.
it's where the growth has happened. And then you can use those skills that you learned in your comfort zone, or those things that feel like they come more naturally to you, you can use those in service of your new self. It's not that
If
they're
you are
wrong
aware.
if you're
Yeah,
aware.
only if you're
Yes,
aware.
yes, yes,
Because
yes.
I wasn't aware. I was just trying to figure it out. And I couldn't. I couldn't figure out why I just couldn't do stuff, or
Mm,
stuff wasn't working, or I couldn't make anything. It's because I wasn't taking action, which before
okay,
I didn't
okay.
even notice I took action because it was just so natural.
Mm,
Where action was last. I had to have my blueprint and I was nurturing. Everybody had to be okay. Well, when is everybody okay? You know what I mean? So I could never leave the house, metaphorically. I could never expand. I couldn't go anywhere. So what happens is we become internally toxic when we're
mm,
living in our wrong quadrants. Now,
okay.
every quadrant is awesome. But not everybody is in those quadrants. So when you're living in your opposite, nothing works. It's confusing. You're frustrated. You're agitated. Okay. Now, yes, there was a lot of learnings in that, but I'm also now from the philosophy of with the fixed code, you can solve those moments of agitation and all of those by doing this work, which I did all the time, but I was in the wrong quadrants. So it didn't, so even though I was clearing all of these parasitic programs and I was feeling fabulous, nothing was working. I still couldn't get anything to work because I was actually living
Mm,
it. Like my go plan, right, was opposite. I was trying to figure it all
yeah,
out first, like
got it.
knowledge blueprint, which is not my thing. I don't read instructions. I just build stuff. And then I don't know why it works, and then I call somebody to fix it. Like,
So
so
part of that experience was because
yeah,
of the accident or the
yeah,
assault and the anxiety that
and
that
becoming a
produced,
mom, and
and becoming a
yeah,
mum. And I feel like that is
yeah,
a big challenge for a lot of women as well. I had my
oh yeah,
kids my first one when I was 40 and my second one when I was 42 or almost 42. And
hmm
I feel like they've been, slap in the face
your
from the
teacher,
universe. You got to change
yeah,
directions here. But
yeah,
yeah, you can feel very much like you're not living your life for you.
your life,
But
yeah,
it's but being a parent is part of who you are. So there are lessons in it.
absolutely. Oh, and I really, and it was
But you can
interesting,
feel
and it
quite
was one of
trapped
the,
if you're a very active person and a very
yeah, and
action
I did,
oriented person.
and I felt trapped, and then I felt guilt for feeling
Mm,
trapped, and
yep,
all of those things.
yep.
But all of those, the fixed code fixed all of that. Like
Okay.
absolutely, that was all of that disappeared. But what I found really fascinating was that, but I still wasn't living the life. I'm happy, I'm good, like I don't feel any bad things, but I'm
Mm,
still not living the life I want.
okay.
I'm not like, there's something missing, and I feel like this is where that rebel, like
Yeah,
that, like I got to go back and be
yeah,
me. Like,
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
I'm a bit of a rebel. Like I do things my own way, and for 22 years I did not. I followed the rules, which was like, I'm just like, but I followed the rules, and I was really, really good at. And I received one of the most amazing compliments, probably the best compliment I've ever had in my life, when my son turned around about 6 months ago and said, and he's in his 20s, and he said, Mom, I am so grateful for me. You became the parent I needed, not me becoming the kid you needed. The child that you needed to parent, you became the parent I needed to become who
Oh,
I am. And he's like, like, because all of his friends didn't, like
mm,
they had to become who their parents wanted them to be.
right.
And
Yeah.
he just said, you never solved my problems. You always let me figure it out my way. Because one of the first things Ashton and I knew about each other was, yeah, like we could not be more different. He is all knowledge, blueprint, like action is his last. Like we're totally opposites. So I became the parent he needed, which was knowledge, blueprint. Let's figure everything out. Let's find out everything we need to know. And I'm just like, oh, yeah, like let's just go. Let's just figure it out. Like let's just
Yeah, don't
go.
worry about
No,
it. Like it's not that important.
yeah,
We'll figure it out.
yeah, but that would cause him anxiety. Like,
Yeah,
if I went too fast, and most of his life, I had to like slow down. I had
yeah.
to like actually slow down. So in the call it freedom of children going to university and getting on with their lives and like being amazing people, that's when I was able to kick the rebel button and say, what's for me now? What am
Love
I
it.
going to do? But in this last 3 years, I've untangled a lot of the programming that came with the last 20 years. And
Oh,
many of your
okay.
listeners, it could be 2 years ago, it could be 5 years ago, but there's a lot of programming that came with that twisting to make life good for everybody else. A lot of like, I'm not going to do that, that I'll wait for that, or I just can't. Like all of these things. And then, of course, the dread sets in, and dread is huge. And again, the fixed code fixes dread with it. Like dread disappears within 5 minutes with the fixed code every single time. But when we start to remove these feelings and also apply this phenomenal sense of like, really, who am I? What quadrant am I? And really lean into my personality, my natural personality, without all of these things and without all of this outside programming on me. Um, that's true freedom for me.
Can you,
Which
sorry,
has, yeah,
sorry, I keep butting in.
no, that's okay. I
I'm
love
just
it. I
trying.
love it because I could talk forever.
I so obviously you've mentioned the fixed code multiple times, and you've talked about the quadrants. So I'm assuming that that's part of the process.
No,
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 they're two
no,
separate.
no,
They're kind of two separate.
totally different things.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
cool.
it's
So
just like
can you
one
talk
of
to
the things we're
us?
talking about today
Yeah,
is like how
the
I
process.
got through
Yes,
all of this,
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
there was a lot of things that happened. Yeah,
Okay. So can you talk us through the process of the fixed code? I'm kind of curious,
sure.
obviously, about how it works. You said that it changed your life in one session. However,
I did.
it also needs to be a practice, I
Oh yeah.
imagine. It's
Oh
not
yeah.
like take the magic pill once.
Oh no.
It's an ongoing
Mm.
journey, but it's
Ongoing
a
journey,
but
and
it's a tool that you can use, anyone can learn,
yeah,
that can change your perspective and
yeah, change how you
your
feel.
trajectory. Tongue
Absolutely. Oh,
twisted with
for
that.
sure. Because yeah, because if I start with this, this is what we call the magic question. Biggest problem you have in your life right now, when you think about it,
Mm,
how does it make you feel? If you could put it in 1 or 2 words, what would it be? Bam. That magic question, the unconscious mind, I've asked your unconscious mind what it, okay? It's floated up. Every single one of your listeners is like, oh yeah, and then they've got the word right there. It's there. They know what it is. It's
mm,
unworthy, upset, betrayed, angry, hurt, like all sad, disappointed, disrespected. Okay, like I could go on forever. Like there's what we call codes, parasitic programs. So what this technique does, and every single time I ask you the magic question, you're going to have a different answer because the next one comes out. We call it the bully on the playground. Because then once that one's gone and that big bully's gone that's kicking the crap out of you, the next one shows up because it will. Because there's lots of them. I wish there was one. I do. 15 years into this game, I wish there was one. But the part also, the great thing is that you're growing every single time you do the technique. You
mm.
will grow because you no longer feel that way. All the beliefs and crap that was created from that feeling, because you've made up a lot of stuff. Everybody we make up stuff.
Yeah.
So when I feel hurt, I start making up stuff.
Mm.
I also want to hurt the other person just as bad. And I'm going to do it and I'm going to be vindictive and you're planning in your head. You're being vicious in your head. You may never say anything out loud, but you are taking a lot of brain power and energy trying to figure out how you're going to hurt them more than they've hurt you. It's horrible. Now, with the fixed code, it feels like a guided meditation, takes a couple of minutes. It's working with the unconscious mind. I am not doing the work with the client. The client is following the instructions. They're doing the work. I don't do anything in essence. We are in rapport, and when two or more are gathered, a third mind shows up. I call it magic. God, the source. Okay, the big power shows up. That's the energy that we work in, and it's very free flowing for the client in that every single time you do this, and every single person you do this with, or well, as a client, every time you do it, you have the experience for yourself. It will feel different. It will look different. It's a completely different experience every single time. It's pretty cool.
So is it removing
But
negative thoughts and
feelings,
programming? Does it have to be like a
yeah,
a problem, a challenge, a difficulty.
Nope.
Can you
Nope. It's
use
how you
it?
feel about it.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. So
But
however you
does it
feel
have to
about
be a
whatever you're thinking about.
is it a negative feeling? Can you use it to induce a more positive, like, I don't know,
Well, here's an interesting thing.
accelerate a
If
positive feeling?
yes, well, what happens? It's default. It happens on out of a default because if once hurt is removed, okay, from the unconscious mind and the physical body, which is what the technique does, all of the stories that are attached to hurt. So
Mm,
if we think of hurt as like a thread, okay, like a pearl necklace, the thread, the string, okay, that's hurt.
mm,
All of our hurt memories, all of our hurt events in our life are the pearls on this necklace. Okay. So when I ask the magic question and I say, biggest problem you have in your life right now, when you think about it, how does it make you feel? What happens is this pearl necklace wakes up. Not the pearls, the string wakes up. It taxes our physical body. We can actually feel hurt
mm,
now. We
yep.
can feel it. Okay. Now this is what happens with the string comes up, but it's got all of our memories on it of hurt. Okay. And it all comes up. Now it's into what we call the grand illusion, our minds. And now our hurt stories are in our mind and they're opening up. We're looking at a little movie of hurt and we're thinking about that kid, when we were on the playground that hurt us, bam. So we're fighting with them in our head and then that closes. And then the next memory opens up and it's grade one to get, and we're going into that and then that closes. And now we're in grade two, closes. And we could be in this for days and days, some people for years. And it's stories and they just can't stop the loop. They can't stop the voices in their head. They can't
Hmm.
stop. They just want everything to shut up, right? Within a couple of minutes of this work, we disconnect hurt. It's gone. All the memories now, all the pearls have nothing to hang on to because hurt is gone. So the memories go back into the timeline without hurt in them. They're gone. Hurt's gone. So those memories go back into the timeline. They're not attached to anything now. So when someone says the word hurt, this whole thing doesn't happen.
Mm,
Those memories stay where
yeah.
they are. We totally forget about them. They're in the past and they're not coming up for no reason now. So there is so much that happens in one session with one code. It will change your life. Now, when you no longer feel hurt and you're not thinking about all of those hurt memories, because you just won't, I promise you, like you just won't, they won't come up anymore. You will accelerate. You will feel better. You will feel more love. You will feel happier because you're not hurt. Like it's just, and imagine that's if you've got a 15-minute session, that's only 5 minutes. You got two more codes to do if you wish. Like, you know what I mean? In your complimentary session with us. You can do 3 codes if you want. So this technique not only heals the physical body because you're pulling these things out of the physical body because they are hurting us. They are using our energy source to feed, to stay alive.
Hmm.
They're plugging into spots in
It's
our
like
body.
epigenetics, isn't it?
It is incredible. And
Mm,
as you start to remove these things from your physical body and your unconscious mind, you will start to feel better just by default. So we don't have to implant anything because that's not the problem. By nature, you aren't happy. By nature, you want to be all of those things. You don't want to feel hurt. You overcome it every day, or that, whatever you're overcoming all the time. Well, if it's not there, you don't have to overcome it anymore. So all the habits that were created, all the beliefs that were created to hold up that feeling or fear disappear too. So you will find that you're actually changing your mind on a lot of stuff that you were going to dig your heels in and this is the mountain I'm going to die on. All of a sudden with the fixed code, you're like, wow, like I just don't care anymore. And it's like, that's right. What do you want to go do? Let's go do something because you don't care anymore. You're not in an internal battle. So this technique stopped the hurt, stopped the crazy, stopped the chatter in my head. It just stopped. I literally live with nothing going on in my head. Like there's nothing going on. It's just me. And if you are having a conversation in your head with somebody,
yeah.
that's a little bit crazy. Okay? That is like the farthest thing from present. We
Mm,
think we're planning, we think we're plotting, we think we're strategizing. No, you're in the loop. Because if you notice, You'll start the loop on Monday morning and you're still in it on Friday night. You
Oh,
have
yeah.
solved nothing. And
As
yet you've
soon
been
as
there
the
all week
alarm
and you
clock
haven't
goes
solved
off.
anything. And I remember when I was like kind of in trauma before I met Daniel, I remember the because I had so much coming at me all the time. That's how I felt. Like it just felt like tsunamis all the time. That that you know that moment when you're waking up and you haven't remembered yet,
Mm,
and it's like there's just that peace, and because you haven't remembered, and all of a sudden you
you
remember, and it
remember.
just floods in. You remember everything, and that's like that's the beginning of my book. Is like having that moment. That was like my favorite part of my day because I hadn't remembered yet. And when I shared this with Daniel many years ago, this actually kind of unlocked a lot for him in the science of all this because Daniel's all the science guy. Like I am not the science guy. I'm all the feel girl. I'm all feelings. He's all science, and which makes us a great team because I don't know his answers. Like he has to tell me the answer because I don't live in that world. I can explain to him as the crash test dummy of this technique, this is how it feels. This is what I'm going through. And he's like, oh, wow, that's cool. So he would keep adjusting the script and keep adjusting what he was doing. And I would unlock parts of his access to source by asking really cool, like grade one questions. Like, what about this? But I remember when I shared with him that was like my favorite part of my day was like before I remembered. And he was like, explain that to me. And then he started to realize, oh my gosh, it's our memories that are kicking the crap out of us. So what does that mean? Okay, that means that when when these things are triggered, it's like a flood, like a tsunami or whatever it is, and then we can't stop it. And we just feel it coming at us. It wakes up in our physical body, and now it's in our mind, and we can't make it stop. So like, do I go for a run? Do I have a drink? Do I take a med? Do I scream at somebody? Do I kick a door? Like, what do I do to make this stop? And the fix code takes all of that away.
Well,
Because
that's
as I started this,
sounds like
it was
a
incredible.
winning a winning formula. When
Oh,
you were talking about
it
that,
is.
those habits, daily routines, the mental chatter, stories that we have, it reminded me
Yeah.
of Joe Dispenza's work where he talks about breaking the
Mm.
habit of being yourself. But it sounds like, well, Dr. Joe
The fix code
Dispenza
does it for
has,
you.
yes, that's what I was going to say.
This does it for you. Yeah.
This is a much quicker process than going into those deep meditations that Dr. Joe
Yeah.
recommends, although they
And
do have
again,
some amazing
the
results.
habits aren't the problem. The habits are not the problem.
It's the
The habits
emotion
are
and the
created
feeling
because of
that
how
we
you feel.
connect. Yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
right. So the moment we disconnect, and this is interesting because everybody's done the Joe Dispenza, right? And now as people are finding more and more people are finding us, they're like, so this means that all all the habits, all the strategies, all the beliefs, everything is just gone. And I'm like, well, let me ask you, we did the system. Like, you feel this way, okay, like let's say you feel disappointed, okay, so now you do the habits of disappointed. Well, now I'm not going to trust people. Now I'm not going to do teamwork. I'm not going to rely on people. Like, these are all now become habits. You live a life where you are no longer relying on anybody. You're not counting on anybody. You're doing everything yourself. You're only paying people, or not even those people are going to disappoint you. All of these things. So you have created all of these habits and strategies to make sure you don't feel disappointed. Now, so that's good. So now you're doing hundreds of hours of work on all of these things. Okay, fine. Where with the fix code, we say, well, okay, but when you think about all of that, how does it make you feel? And you're like disappointed. We're like, okay, close your eyes. And then when in a couple of minutes, disappointed is completely gone from your physical body and your unconscious mind. So none of the memories are going to come up. All the habits are going to stop because you no longer feel that way. So why would I do all of this crap to make sure I never feel disappointed? It's like, how about you just don't feel disappointed because it's now gone? Everything changes. So you aren't the girl you were 5 minutes ago, which is, I freaking love that because I continually get to become somebody new every single time I do this.
Amazing.
Every single time.
When
Like,
you, so
yeah, and
you're,
everything falls apart.
it's
Yeah.
you're getting us pretty excited about it. And I'm conscious that we're getting close to the end of our conversation. I don't want to just cut you off with the fixed code stuff, but there is something else I want to talk to you about that we were talking about offline. So let's kind of wind up with the fixed code because people can actually try this complimentary,
Absolutely. For
right?
free.
For
Yeah,
free.
for free. Go to our website.
Yeah.
Yep, go to our website. Right there. There's like a little phone with words flying
Yep.
around it.
I'm going to try it
Put
for
your name in.
sure.
Yeah, please do. Put your name and address in,
Yeah.
email address, and then just follow the sequence. You're going to go through a questionnaire. You're
Yep.
going to like sign an agreement. You're then going to submit it. You're going to then come to a page where it says book here, like thank you very much for your time kind of thing. Book here. Click it. Move over to a practitioner page. Align, they're just the pictures right now, but like
Uh-huh.
align with somebody that pick somebody that you think you align with, and if you want to try it again, then try somebody new. Like that's fine. The more you try this, the more fun you're going to have. I mean, we're in the business of helping people, and also too, the women that are on this page, this is paying it forward. This is
Yeah.
how we do things in our company. We pay it forward. We are here for anybody that wants to try this. So please take us up on our offer. Try this. It's 15 minutes. If you like it, fabulous. Book more sessions, become a client of somebody, or turn around and learn how to do this for yourself and your clients. I don't know where your people are, like where your listeners are in what they do, but
Mm.
if they're practitioners and you want like a bazooka of a technique, oh, this is really fun. It's super fun. So please take us up on our 15-minute complimentary
Yes.
session. It's fun, it's
It's a
easy, and I
no-brainer,
will
right?
also, yeah, and I will also send you the link for the passion of purpose, which I will now absolutely. I have purpose now. I absolutely have purpose to when I'm done this podcast to get that passion of purpose uh, uh, product, and it's like a 5 day. I mean, it's five. I did it in 5 days, but it's like 5 workshops, and they're each an
Hmm.
hour. They're good. They're fun. Um, up and it's $29, so you can have a lot of fun with doing all of that. And if you want to take it to the fixed code level, like deeper, the course, the $29 course, and you want to do the extractions, that's when you go and book a practitioner, and they'll walk you through all of the codes that are lit up and fired up in the course. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
thank you for that. I'm going to
You're welcome.
this all sort of fits with the same theme of finding our purpose, who we truly are, following our life path,
Yeah.
things that happen in the universe that give us a slap around the face and kind of steer us in the direction that we should be going. And when we
Had
were,
have had those. Yeah.
yeah, I think we all do in that in our own special ways, don't we?
Mm-hmm.
Some are slow unfoldings and some are big, yeah, big,
Wallops.
fast wallops. But when before we hit record, you were telling me about where you are right now and how your life, you've
Yeah.
mentioned that you're an action taker, you love, travel and all of those things
Adventure.
and
Yeah.
adventure. And this is something that was on hold when you were parenting, but obviously as you've reached midlife, your son has grown, you're
Yeah.
able to do those things again. And you're actually on this amazing project at the moment
I
with your
am. I
sister.
am.
Can you tell us a little bit about this? Because I think it's really
Yeah.
cool and like just opens up, it just shows, people that what's going on in
That
the
it can
world
happen.
and that it can happen,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. So part of my growth and coming out of like my opposite me kind of thing and just playing all the roles that I had to play. And many of us do that. We take on the burden of all the responsibility and the roles and, be a good wife, be a good mom, be a good husband, be a good brother, be a good sister, like all of those things, which is all wonderful. But it does, for many people, it takes its toll. It turns us into different people and we stop living with passion. We stop living with our own purpose because I do believe we're at the spot right now, especially now and on this planet right now, and in the last couple of years where it is about it is about living into our authentic selves, like not playing by the social rules anymore of who we should be and who I think I need to be. I need to just be me. Like I am enough and I need to like not care what everybody else thinks and just go for it, which took me a lot. I definitely cared about what people thought and looking like I didn't run away from anything. I did all my responsibility. I did all those things. But yeah, was definitely lost was, even though I had all the fixed code, I had all of those things, but this was deeper. This was like, what does the next 30, 40, 50 years of my life look like? I'm 56 right now. So I plan on being here about like 120. I'm good. Is is what do I want that to look like? What do I want that to feel like? Like, what is it in me that I miss? Well, me being me, I'm teaching we call it Power Hour when you're one of our students. We have a monthly fun get together, which is called Power Hour. And we talk about big stuff. We go deep and I challenge everybody. Like I ask big questions and we have fun sorting it out. It's a really fun, supportive hour. But this particular Friday of March of 2023, I was turning whatever it was, 50 something, the next day. So on this power hour, I'm like, I'm going big. It's my birthday tomorrow. I want travel back in my life. I want to experience the world again. I miss it. Like I lived all over the world for my career. I was everywhere. I loved it. I was always on a plane going somewhere. I never knew where I was going till I got there because a lot of it was um, very high profile, secretive, high security kind of stuff. Like I was helicoptered into events. Like I was like, it was big. I worked on big stuff. And I loved it and I missed it. And so this particular power hour, I said, in the moment, I really want travel back. Like that's something I want back in my life. I want that crazy wild adventure, not knowing where I'm going, no plans, just like a little carry on and off I go. And they were, everybody did their thing, and we all had a lot of fun with it. And I wished everybody, like let's go, let's make this happen. The next day, my sister calls me and says, hey, this is like how's it going? Now she lives in Australia because she left Canada about 30 years ago and married a beautiful Australian man and beautiful family in Australia. So, we haven't really seen each other a lot over, those years, even though I lived in Australia for a couple of years for the Olympic Games in Sydney. But in general, I hadn't seen her that much. So she calls me, I'm in Canada, and she's like, so sis, what do you want for your birthday? And I said, I think I want to travel. I think I want to like, my son's at university, we're good, everybody's happy, everybody's good. And I said, now I think it's my turn. I think I got to step into something. Like this is, even though I love everything in my life, I want more. I still want more. And she said, well, would you come here? And I'm like, pardon? She goes, well, would you come here? And I'm like, sure. When? She goes, uh, you could come tomorrow if you want. I'm like, what? She said, well, if you say yes, then that means my husband and I can go to Europe and get funding and like source funding and everything for their project, what they were doing, because they're also high impact couple as I'm a high impact person. I'm humanity. My impact is on humanity, and my sister's impact is on the planet and Mother Earth. So, but both very high achieving daughters here. And so she said, if you say yes and come here, then that means my husband and I can go to Europe and do, find funding for their project. And I was like, sure. So I said, hang on, I got a couple of kids here that I need to get organized, like my niece and my son and whatever. They were moving provinces and moving all over the place. So I was moving these kids all over Ontario. And I said, once I do that and I get my niece settled and whatever, I said, how about June? Now we're talking April 1st to June 1st. That's it. And I'm moving kids around
Is your
around a
birthday April
province.
the 1st?
It is.
So is
I'm a
mine.
total fool.
So
Oh, happy oh, how cool is that? How cool is
oh, you
that?
hardly ever meet
My
anyone who's
goodness.
an April Fool.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, we're definitely fools. So I got on the plane on June 3rd and I went to Australia, moved into her place while they took 3 days later they were off to Europe and they were gone. They were gone for 6 months. So her son and I had a blast, just having a great time in Australia. They were now in London. They were getting funding. They were in like a boardroom kind of idea. And they were saying, okay, if we do this, how are you actually going to do this? Like what you're proposing is crazy. And it's never been done. And my sister said, there's only one person on this planet that one would be crazy enough to say yes to this and has all the skills to do this. Like my sister can build anything out of anything, anywhere. I've watched her do it. Oops. Yeah. Right. So what happened was is they were in London. They said the only person, the craziest person on the planet that would do this is my sister. And let me just call her. So my sister went into the hallway and called me and said in Australia and said, would you do this with us? And would you come to Samoa with us and see if we could actually do this? And I said, I'm all in, sis. And she's like, what? So she went in, got the funding, and here we are. So 2 years ago, we came to Samoa to see if we can make this work, their project. And their project is a fully compostable nappy that which is, it's all circular economy. And it is women employed, women are the solution, coming up with the solutions to the problem. They then sell the diapers and collect the dirty diapers, bring them to the composting area, which again is very like rural. It's just old pallets that I've put together and whatever. And we use a May Bruce process with a spice inoculant, and it's just grass diapers. And within 8 to 12 weeks, we have the most beautiful compost. High, just black. It is so gorgeous. And we now have a garden, a vegetable garden made from that compost. So in these villages in Samoa, we've now been here 2 years, and we're just rocking it out. We're getting support from all over the world, and we actually have 8 other countries that have now signed on to say they want this in their countries. They want to bring this. So I have had the most, like, talk about passion and purpose. Just like being able to support. I love supporting. That's my personality by nature. I supported Daniel through his through all of his stuff with the fixed code. Like, my dream was to help him build something so cool, and I did that with the online training and all the courses that we have. And I feel like I've done that with my sister. Like, supporting amazing people is my jam. Like, I absolutely love doing that, and I feel very fulfilled. Like, when you figure out what that is, like, it's not a thing. It's how you want to, what you want to do in the world. For me, it's serve awesome people. It's serving excellence, people that want global impact. That's my passion and my purpose, because I'm really good at it. So I really have found what I love to do. And I don't know who the next amazing person is. I don't know what the next amazing project is. I don't know. But I love working with Daniel in the Fixed Code. Like, and I love being the co-founder of that company and continually serving excellent practitioners, people's moms, like whoever want to learn this. Like, that's my passion. How can I help you learn this better? How can I help your family feel better through this technique? Like, that's a passion, and it also gave me purpose. And then this is just an add-on. Like, this is like another cherry on the top of something already so cool. And when I figured that part out about myself, that it's in the serving. It's not in like,
Mm.
I'm not in the nappy business. I have no interest in learning compost or whatever. Like, that's not my that's not my jam. But what I do love doing is serving my sister in a way, like, not serving, but like being in service to excellence. And when I put all that together and looked over my life, that is what I have loved my whole life. My parents are also in service to excellence. That's what they did with the Olympic Games. That's what I did with the Olympic Games. It's what I did in my private company of international events. I served excellence. I used my Rubik's Cube mind to solve big problems for big people that are doing bigger things.
Mm.
And I have found my happiness. I really have. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm excited to my next adventure and what I'm doing. And I mean, I'm never going to leave Samoa in a way of, I will always be here, coming back and forth over probably the next decade, because we're going to continually be expanding. We're expanding all throughout the global south again. So those are going to be startups, and I'm going to be flying all over the world to be doing those startups and training people and helping them to build a better community and take diapers out of the oceans and landfills and all that kind of stuff. And
That's
then the
so
fixed code
cool.
is just helping people. Yeah. And then the fixed code is just helping people learn this technique so they can go help more people. Yeah.
Amazing.
So
Yeah, that
it's like, when you
beautiful,
find it, you find it.
when you find it, you find it. And I think that's a really
Yeah.
great note to end on. Thank you, Stacey.
Thank you. Oh,
Yeah,
thank you so much.
your passion is just contagious. And I think it's a really great message to people, that out of the darkness there is often a lot more light than you could have ever expected.
Oh my gosh. And that's a promise. Like, that is a promise.
Yeah.
Through the fixed code technique, I went from very dark to very, very
Mm.
happy.
So we're going to
Yeah, but you got to do
share.
the work.
Yeah, you've got to do the work, people. We're going to
Yeah, you got to do the work.
we're going to
But this is easy
share.
work.
all of your details in the guest directory, so that people can
Thank you.
access the website easily, be connected to this episode. And
Thank you.
yeah, highly encourage everyone to log on and try that 15-minute complimentary
Oh, please
session.
do. We'd be
Yeah,
honored to show you the technique. Yeah.
that would be great.
Awesome. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you
your
so much,
time today.
Stacey. Loved it.
Okay, take care.
Bye.